Hello, everyone. This is Whitney Will from Star Hearth Astrology, and we are slowing down and slipping into a Gemini new moon this week. It's an interesting kind of time period because generally the days before the full moon are slow and sleepy. We're at the end of the lunar cycle for the month. Hopefully we're wrapping things up and we're resting. But this week and this very sweet full moon, things are a little bit different. And that is because we have some really sweet astrology that happens before the new moon. And that is on Tuesday, Venus conjoining the Sun and Mercury conjoining Jupiter. So we'll start with Venus. Venus has disappeared from the sky. She was a morning star from about the end of September, October. And in her morning star form, she is bright, she is grabby, she desires things, right? Her retrograde was in Leo, so she was reborn in Leo. And so she's dramatic, she wants things, she's going to go after them. And then at the end of April, she disappeared behind the sun. She got so close to the sun that we can't see her anymore, and she disappeared. And during that period, while she is gone from the sky, it can be more difficult to access Venusian things, pleasure, right? We may be experiencing a little bit of anhedonia, the stuff that we like to do that normally brings us joy. It's not really working like that. We're having a hard time feeling connected in our relationships. And so this happens about every other year when Venus goes through this process of going behind the sun and going from the morning star to the evening star. And while she's doing this, she's also, because she's on the far side of the sun, the farthest away from us that she ever gets. And so it can feel like that too, right? You can almost feel like relationships, they run out of gas and they're kind of stranded. Either someone is going to have to walk back along the freeway to get gas. If this is going to move forward, there's a kind of relational heart-centered exhaustion to Venus combust under the beams of the sun. Now, she will emerge mid-July, late July. We'll see her again in her form as the evening star, which is decidedly gentler, right? It's almost like she's gone through some kind of humbling experience, some kind of maturing experience. And so that half of the Venus cycle tends to be have a little bit more grace and maybe a little bit less enthusiasm. Why am I talking about this? Well, on Tuesday the 4th, Venus conjoins the sun. So as part of this journey, when planets disappear into the sun, they are purifying themselves in some way. And so on the exact day when Venus hits the degree of the sun, we can have a respite from her being kind of gone from the sky, and we can feel her in a very pure form. It's almost like the sun is a lens who's concentrating Venus on us when we're in this exact alignment. So that's a sweet moment to reconnect with her. Now, on the same day, we have Mercury, our words, our ideas, our ability to communicate, the content of our minds conjoins the greater benefic Jupiter, the planet of expansion and optimism and abundance. And so we have Mercury in its own sign of Gemini, which it just went into the day before. and it comes together with Jupiter. So there's a lot of conversation. There's a willingness to take the time to find the right words, and Venus conjoining the sun is kind of making that happen. So it's a really auspicious day that we have. A good day for wishes, a good day for prayers, a beautiful day for prayers. And then on Wednesday, the moon goes into Gemini, and by Thursday, we have our Gemini full moon. I'm going to pull up the chart now. So here is the chart of our new moon. And as you can see, right, when we find the sun and the moon, it'll be happening right at sunrise. It's kind of beautiful. With Mercury, the ruler of this chart, the ruler of the new moon, separating from a conjunction with Jupiter, and Venus snuggled right in there, not even a degree away from this new moon. This is a sweet lunation after some complicated lunations. This lunation is about the reawakening of possibility, with Venus in there, right? Gemini is great at creative problem solving. And now you might have noticed the square to Saturn appear in Pisces. So this is to say it still needs to be possible. We're not leaving this world for an entirely different world, and we're not doing this just in fantasy. What we are doing is questioning what could be possible given the constraints we have. By Saturday, Venus will complete the square with Saturn, and by Sunday, the sun will complete the square with Saturn. But at this new moon, right, we are turning our focus inward, which is what we do during new moons, and reconnecting with the sense of purpose and asking ourselves, what have I given up on prematurely? Where was I so uncomfortable in uncertainty that I abandoned the project, and maybe I need to go back to it? So this new moon is an invitation to use your creativity to find a way. I also want to invite you guys to the first of my planetary series, which is going to be in class format. You do not need to attend live. If you register, you will get the recording. I'm doing a class on the sun. I have never taught on the sun, and this class is particularly resonant for people with difficult or complicated solar placements. So these are my 8th house suns, like yours truly, 6th house suns, 12th house suns, 2nd house suns, suns in hard aspect to Saturn, people born at night with the sun below the horizon. 4th house suns, I think, is probably included in that, right? Suns that have a difficult time feeling empowered. The sun is there for us too, and this is the first in a kind of a la carte planetary series where we will spend a couple hours each month with different planets to invite ourselves into a richer experience of those planetary archetypes, and ultimately develop our own language and our own relationship with those planets. I hope to see you there. You can register for the class on the booking tab on my website. Thanks for watching, and enjoy this sweet new moon.